a number of local, so they're doing local reform, right, in the local councils, and almost half of those councils have said, can we please push back our elections for a year? So instead of 26, they're going to do them in 27, which is causing quite a lot of controversy because most of those councils are labor run. So it's looking like a grab for power. It's looking like all these labor councils going, oh, we just need to stay in power a little bit longer until people like us better because we know we're going to lose these elections. But we will see. Reform UK has basically filed a block in the courts to block the government from postponing them, because reform obviously is at its height right now. More people than ever are saying that they're going to vote reform, and it's likely that in these 2026 elections they're going to take over a whole host of councils. I'm going to be honest, I think that a lot of people learn through experience more than learn through the ability to see something going wrong by somebody else telling them, hey, I've done this before, I've been here before, that's going to go wrong. So if we sit here on the left and rationally or logically say, hey, why don't you pause and look at all the other reform-run councils and see how they're not doing good, and then consider who you want to vote for. A lot of people can't do that. Sometimes they just have to suffer through the pain of it. So I'm saying, yes, by all means, have the elections now, let reform come in, and when they've crashed and burned, which they will do, and we're talking about a 4 or 5 year election cycle, then we move on. You know what I'm saying? Then we move on. You know, once they've had to then kick out all of their counselors because they've all been found to have criminal records or dodgy pasts or, you know, whatever else they're all doing, then it's, then we can move on. I think it's really interesting that the entire country thinks that reform is the right party to lead, because there is something to be said for experience. And one of the reasons we are in the shit that we're in is because none of our choices have any experience. But really, a brand new party led by someone who's only just become an MP for the first time, i.e. Nigel Farage, thinking that they have the experience they need. Okay, I hear you. Stop yelling at me. To be fair, half the Tories have now, including Jenrick, have now defected over to reform. So to be fair, they do have more experience than they did. But they've kind of acquired that experience. They've bought that experience in. It's like a brand new company in AI or tech buying OpenAI and going, we have the experience. No, AI has, it's not quite the same. OpenAI has the experience. ChatGPT has the experience. You're just a brand new startup. But I think, unfortunately, and I know it would be a shit show, but maybe we haven't actually hit rock bottom. It feels like we've hit rock bottom, but maybe we haven't hit rock bottom, and we need to hit rock bottom in order for some people to realize, okay, not just the party system doesn't work. The whole thing of government needs to be looked at. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we need to re-examine this whole two-party politics. It's kind of nice, though. And I will say this, it's really nice that we are no longer a two-party political system. It's really good to see that evolution with the reform coming up and Greens coming up, so that we now have 5 options to choose from. That's really important, because that is the best way that we can push towards a proper proportional representation system, which I'm massively in favor of. Kind of. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm not in favor of proportional representation, even though I will concede that it's probably the most democratic option. I'm actually a firm believer in let me just make all the decisions. Let me make all the decisions. I'm not going to make an economic decision sitting on the toilet. I'm going to go and talk to, economists and go, what is it, technocratic. You know what I mean? I believe in a technocratic system where you go around and you go, what's the best way to handle this? And then you handle that. Interestingly, I was speaking to the ex-communications advisor to Cameron, as you do. I was just casually, I was just saying, hey, Craig, let's talk about this. And one of the interesting things that he pointed out is the fact is we cannot afford the welfare bill. I know that we all want to have a welfare system that supports every single member of our society. I know that we want to see an increased recognition on things like mental health. We want to, we are seeing an increase in diagnoses for things like autism and ADHD and the rest of it. But the fact is, as we expand our definition of what requires support and disability, it means that we are, and of course, then you've also got, separate to that, you've also got the fact that we have got increased poverty. But overall, it means that there aren't enough people putting taxpayer money in to be able to pay the entire welfare bill. And that is something that it doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right, we need to address that, or we need to acknowledge that. And what is the answer? I don't know. What is the answer to that? Well, I know actually there are quite a few answers to that, starting with, the healthier your population, the more employed your population, the smaller your welfare bill will be. But we cannot on the left simply keep asking for the money without at least helping find the reasonable solutions that are going to pay for it. And that's the truth of it.